All right, guys, the Utah Jazz lose to the Denver Nuggets, who got monster games from Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's remove this. Utah gets another loss. I'm back in my home studio. I'm excited to be back. Utah is finding a way to get this done, and I appreciate it, and I hope you Jazz fans are appreciating it too. Tonight, I tell you what, this game was closer than you would have probably expected when you found out that Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic had the triple doubles tonight. Both had triple doubles. Apparently, it's like one of only 15 times in NBA history that has happened, and it happens against the Utah Jazz. So Nikola Jokic took 33 shots tonight, scored 36 points. That's actually a pretty impressive sign from Walker Kessler, who did a pretty good job on Jokic. But then you look at these numbers: 36 points, 22 rebounds, 11 assists. Look at that. Is that 11, 22? Oh, it's too bad it's not 33. They would have all been divisible by, I don't know. These are bonkers numbers from Nikola Jokic. He just is out of his mind. He put up just insane. It's just crazy. These numbers from him are bonkers night after night. And the thing that is, in my opinion, probably one of the most impressive things about Nikola Jokic is that you can just expect him to play, because that's what he does. He plays well, and he plays every game, and you can count on him playing. And, in a game like this where the Utah Jazz had to get this win, if Jokic doesn't play, Utah very much could have beaten this team. They were pretty close in this one. The game ends, 132 to 121, but without Jokic, this is a much different game. You have guys on the bench for the Nuggets. Look, -9 for Jamal Murray. That's kind of a scary thing if you're a Nuggets fan. But Utah, that's why you just got to give credit to Nikola Jokic. And then Russell Westbrook, who played really well tonight. Perfect from the field, 7 for 7, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 16 points. He's turned out to be a nice pickup for them. This is crazy. -9 for Jamal Murray. He didn't look great in this one, and then you see that and you can see why. He did have 10 assists, which is nice to see, but this Nuggets team just keeps kind of getting slowly worse and worse each season, especially, post championship, and it's not great. Christian Brown had a nice game tonight too. We were talking on the post game. I guess he's their fourth best player, maybe, after Jokic, Porter, and Murray. But Murray hasn't been playing well. Michael Porter Jr., I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he does put up pretty good numbers on good efficiency. 21 points, 50% from three, 44 from the field, 6 rebounds. So, for the Nuggets, solid win for them against the Utah Jazz team, who continues to play better. Utah started Johnny Juzang tonight at the 3. That was kind of the surprise thing. Also, Keontae George came back, hit his first 3 from the game, but wasn't super consistent. But Johnny Juzang, look at these numbers: 55 from the field, 40% from 3, and I believe most of this was in the first half. He only plays 22 minutes, and that's kind of the point of this one I want to get across. You guys know, and a lot of this is just me beating the same drum over and over and over, but Utah has to get their young guys more minutes, and tonight was kind of a perfect example. Lauri Markkanen had not a good shooting night. 5 for 13 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3. Not a lot. He only had 1 rebound as well and 17 points. It's pretty interesting. I put up, and I probably need to do a video, but Walker Kessler, there was a rumor out there as well, but Kessler played well tonight. He's going up against the MVP in Nikola Jokic. 12 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists for Kessler, as well as 2 blocks and a steal. Kessler is arguably playing the best of any Jazz man all season. I guess you would argue Lauri Markkanen, and then at times we've seen some good nights from Colin Sexton, who's been really consistent as well. But Walker Kessler has consistently put up good numbers for the Jazz, played really well, protects the rim, does so many nice things, and tonight was no different. One of his most efficient nights, really. Colin Sexton, what else can we say? He puts up great numbers. Tonight he didn't shoot it very well from 3, but he's such a consistently good, efficient scorer every night. and he just puts up that effort. It's crazy. I mean, 4 assists also. He's just improved as a player on Utah year after year, and it's nice to see, and he deserves, in my opinion, to go to a contender and have a chance to really play at the highest level and see if he can help a team get to the promised land. And Utah just needs to get some things back from whoever they trade him to. Would not be surprised if there's some talks with the Jazz and the Lakers about him. We'll see. Keontae George, he came back from injury. He took only 9 shots. Probably a good thing because he only made 3. This is actually, in my opinion, and we've talked about this before in the past, but I like that he only took 9 shots. The shot was not falling. He was not taking too many bad shots. So on a night where the shot wasn't falling as well as you'd like, and obviously this is just small numbers, he didn't take too many. The nice thing that we consistently are seeing this season from him, the thing that we wanted to see, 6 assists. Very nice to see. Whoops, I pulled that up. I don't want to pull that up. But what else I also like is that he's just showing, plus 13 for Johnny Juzang. This all came in the first half. It was the second half where the Nuggets really pulled away. But Keontae George is just playing pretty solid, and I'm happy to see it. 7 points, 6 assists isn't huge, but it's nice to see him continuing to improve as a playmaker and point guard. Jordan Clarkson, 27 minutes tonight. He goes 46% from the field, 60% from 3. These numbers are just getting consistently better. I don't know why that's not coming up. Okay, there we go. 16 points per game is what he's averaging for the Jazz this year. 3.5 rebounds and 4.1 assists. Solid stuff, but what's nice to see for him is the percentages are there. You look at his three-point percentage, it's back up to 33. Still not great, but he's back to where he was in 2022. And these were the 6th man of the year years. So maybe there's a team out there that might be interested in Jordan Clarkson. The rumor out there that we got from Mark Stein, or I can't remember if it was Mark Stein or I forgot his name, but that you can have Jordan Clarkson for, second round pick or picks, depending on what the teams are wanting. And I think there might be a team out there willing to do it. Jordan Clarkson's contract is very reasonable, and he's putting up better numbers this year. And the thing that has been really nice to see with Clarkson, with this Jazz team, and you look at these last 3 years, actually, in fact, this is actually something to really look at, is the assist numbers are up. This is like pre-Will Hardy, post-Will Hardy. Look at what's going on there. 4.4, 5.0, 4.1. If that's not a sign of a better coach and a coach that demands the team plays well and passes the ball, I don't know what it is, but that's pretty stark difference right there. Look at that. This is like pre-Will Hardy with Quinn Snyder. Will Hardy comes and look at this. He's averaging 5 assists per game last year. That's a big difference. These are much bigger than he ever did in his entire career, and then Will Hardy takes over and look what happens. It's pretty impressive stuff. That's a cool little stat right there. So anyways, Jordan Clarkson improving. Guess what? We got minutes for Cody Williams and Isaiah Collier. Cody Williams was 2 for 3 from 3. I don't know if these are updated, but his 3-point percentages has not been very good this year. But 2 for 3 from 3 will help. He's not taking a ton of shots. And so did that go up to 23 or will it go up? I think that went up already. So the 3-point percentage is improving. So Cody Williams right now has simplified his game. He's taking corner threes. That's all he did tonight. But it's nice to see him have some shots go in. If he sees that, he might be willing to do more. He had a few bad turnovers tonight. That's okay. That's what rookies do. Just one, actually. But you know what? That's what rookies do. That's what we're expecting to see from the Jazz young players, and that's great. Honestly, that is fine. Isaiah Collier shot 1 for 2 from 3. I know he took 2 and only 1, but this is something I want to talk about. 3 for 4 from the field from Collier with 5 assists in just 17 minutes. That's nice to see, and this is against a Nuggets team that's going to the playoffs. They're not as good defensively as they were. And he's doing well. 8 points, 5 assists in 17 minutes. You double that. I mean, per 36, you're looking at what is that? 16 and 10, more give or take. Pretty good for a rookie point guard. So nice to see. And then finally, Kyle Filipowski and Bryce Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh got 18 minutes. He's been playing really well for Utah, especially last game. He dang near scared the heck out of me. And then Kyle Filipowski puts in 10 minutes, and they're solid 10 minutes. But here's the thing I want to talk about now. you see these numbers, and it's not enough at this point. It's got to be Utah has to make some decisions, because what's kind of frustrating for Jazz fans is that Utah is no question competing for the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. No question. Johnny Juzang is starting. John Collins, I'm not quite sure what the injury is. If I go to the Utah Jazz injury report, in fact, let's go look at it right now. I'll just pull it up really quickly. But the Utah Jazz, let's bring it over here. You can look at it with me. The Utah Jazz injury report. Let's see. Team injury reports. All right, let's pull this up, and I just want to see what's going on with John Collins. We're not December 31st. We're December 30th. Come on. Oh, well, this is not helping. Waste of time. But John Collins is out. Maybe this injury is real, but my guess is it's not. Just going to be honest. I don't believe it. I think that the Jazz are just trying to lose these games, which they should. Which they absolutely should. They're giving minutes to guys like Johnny Juzang. It's giving more minutes to guys like Keontae George. And then obviously the bench is where these games are getting lost, because they bring these guys in and they lose a game. Well, Utah, and we talked about this early in the season, Utah has their toughest schedule for this year. It's front-loaded in a lot of ways. It's still going to be tough next year, but they have not really faced, they haven't faced the Washington Wizards. They haven't faced the Charlotte Hornets. At least I can't remember. No, they haven't. They haven't. They have not faced the worst of the worst over in the East. And Utah has to face those teams, and they have to lose those games. And I have no doubt that post-trade deadline, it's going to be a different team. The Jazz schedule is front-loaded. It is got the toughest teams, or at least a higher percentage of winning teams they play against pre-trade deadline. But one thing that's getting a little frustrating, and why they need to probably think about making a trade sooner than later, is that they have minutes going to Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson. Look at this. This is 28 minutes and 27 minutes. That is a lot of minutes to Jordan Clarkson in a season where Utah is the Jazz are only 2.5 games back of the number one spot in the lottery. That is nothing. Tonight was game 31. You can do the math. There's still 51 games left. Utah absolutely can get that number one pick, and you can bet that that's something that they're working towards 100%. Utah, let's see. So let's refresh this. Utah sits at 7-24. That's 31 games. Yeah. So 82 minus 31. I had to retake geometry in high school, but there's still 50 games left. Utah is not giving these minutes to their young guys. There's two things. They've got to do something soon. The rumor today, go to SLC Dunk. I wrote about it already. You can go there and read about the Walker Kessler rumor. Really interesting stuff from Anthony Irwin, who has a little bit more insight on some of these things, and his sources are good. We're just not giving the young players the minutes they should be getting. And there's two benefits. We've talked about this a lot. We don't have to rehash it too much, but there's two benefits. One, you give them development time. You give them a chance to have some real victories in real minutes against real teams and real players that they're going to spend their careers playing against, And two, you chance the Jazz winning games. Tonight, Utah only lost by 10 points in a game where Jokic was, by 11. Jokic was masterful tonight. And Utah only lost by 10. Not a big deal. And Utah doesn't have to lose every game by 20. But we are taking away minutes from guys like Isaiah Collier, who's figuring it out. It would be more beneficial to have Collier playing with Keontae George more often than with Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, who he's not going to play with. Jordan Clarkson took 15 shots tonight. Cody Williams is a young rookie who is not going to he is not going to try to have any sort of conflict with Jordan Clarkson in these games, right? There is you guys can just imagine if you're a 19-year-old kid going on a team with these, honestly, men who are playing for contracts. Jordan Clarkson's making $15 million a year that he's earned. It's got to be hard for someone like Cody Williams, who struggled a little bit, to say, hey, Jordan, I want the ball more. It's just not going to likely happen. And so you're just taking away shots from these guys who are going to defer. Isaiah Collier is a pass-first point guard who is more than happy to send the ball to Jordan Clarkson, who's going to go up and take the shot. And he did. Look at this. Look at the shot distribution just right here. Look at this. Johnny Juzang, 9 shots. Kessler, 6. Keontae George, 9. You can honestly just look at the difference here in double digits from young players and veterans. Lauri Markkanen, veteran player, took 13 shots, double-digit shots. Colin Sexton took almost 20 shots, 19. And yeah, it's efficient. It's great. But what is this accomplishing? At a certain point, this is just sunk. This is just kind of dead stats. There's nothing to it. It doesn't matter. Jordan Clarkson, 15 shots. These shots can get distributed to these young players. And guess what? It's going to ensure losses in the games the Jazz have to lose, right? It's actually kind of funny. Look at this. Double digit, double digit, double digit. You can just guess the veterans. So someone like Cody Williams is not getting the chance to try some things and fail. It is important that these Jazz young players fail. It's important. They need to adjust. They need to evolve. They need to mess up. They need to they need to take their lumps so that they can learn from it and grow. That is what the point of the season is, right? Right now, you got 19 and 15 shots that could be spread out to other guys, and obviously they would not be makes, a lot of them, but that's okay because it's accomplishing both of the goals. You want to lose and you want to develop. That's it. Those are the goals. Nothing else. None of this matters. This does not matter. 22 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds on nice efficiency. Doesn't matter. It's not doing anything at this point. We know what Colin Sexton is. He's a very nice player. Hopefully there's a team out there that wants to trade for him. And hopefully Danny Ainge is willing to make the move because they got to do it soon. In fact, let's just look at the Utah Jazz schedule here. Look. So, Utah's got some games coming up. Let's see. So, today finishes that. They play the Knicks on Wednesday. Utah beat the Knicks last time they played, right? This is not like a given. And the Knicks kind of struggled a little bit to beat, who was it tonight? I think it was I can't remember, but they were like close in their game they were in today against a losing team. They play the Heat, who are like a 500 team that are not that impressive. Utah plays the Magic, who are missing their 2 best players. They're still playing really well, but Utah's got to make some decisions. They cannot win one of those 3 games. Those are 3 games I could see Utah having a great shooting night from like Colin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen and winning those games. And what is the point? What is the point, right? Danny and Justin and Ryan got to make the move, okay? It's time to make the move. Do it. Make the move. Make the change. It's got to happen. I guess I don't have a lot else to say tonight, guys, because I honestly would love to talk more these nights about what we're seeing from each individual guy, but we're seeing each shot distribution chart uneven and going to the veteran guys, which makes sense. They're the best players, but this season was about development and losing games. So at some point, Utah has to just make the decision and do it. And I know it's going to be some pain tolerance for fans and for these players. But I tell you what's not going to be painful is when Utah goes into this lottery and has a top 3, top 2 pick going into lottery night. You know what's going to be freaking awesome is when they win this lottery because they did the right thing. Wembanyama went to the Spurs, who were number 2. Utah has a chance to get there. They're right there. They are 1 game back of Washington. Just 1. Well, no. They're 2. 2 games back. But Utah has to do the right thing. Make the right choice. Do it. Come on, Jazz. It's not that hard. Let's do this. Let's do the right thing. Make the right choice. Let's get her done. All right, guys. We're back to doing the lottery every night. Utah used to be in this spot, and it made me so happy at one point. And then they decided to win a few games, and it's so hard to make those up because guess what? We watched Charlotte tonight on the live stream. They went to overtime and found a way to lose. That sucked. That was a big deal. Utah would have jumped to 4. Instead, they sit at 5 with Charlotte. Not good. And Utah does not want to go into lottery night and be tied with these guys and have to do a coin flip. You don't want your entire franchise's future altered because of a flip of a coin. Are you serial? No way. No way. Do not do that. All right, let's flip the coin and see what happens to Utah if the lottery was tonight. They have the lowest of the odds of these bottom 5 teams. What would happen? Boom, Utah drops to 8. Gets jumped by 3 teams because Utah didn't have the cojones to up their chances. If Utah was at 2 or 3 and they dropped by 3 spots, they'd be in the 5 or 6 spot. Instead, Utah goes to 8. That is why. So Utah misses out on all those top 7 talents and is left with Cam and Malawach, who might be really nice, but Utah's got Kessler. And if they're not going to trade Kessler, then I guess you're going to be having a tough choice there with Cam and Malawach, and you go away with Con Canopal. Talk about the most depressing thing ever. So anyways, Utah misses out. It's because they aren't doing the right things. They got to do the right things now. Because if they're at 5 or 6, they're coming away with a really nice player in Edgecombe or Jakusonis. Make the move, Jazz. Do the right thing. Time is now. The time is now. All right, guys, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting the channel. You know how much I appreciate you. You guys are incredible. Let's give a shout out to Ryan Edward Perry, the legend, Baby Elliot Madsen, See Ya Alexa Later, Christian House Money to Haas, The Outlaw Jesse James Nelson, Jordan the Goat Besserell, Austin our Grant Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, and Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Patrick, how are you doing out there in Hawaii, my man? Hopefully business is booming, baby. All right, guys, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will talk to you next time.